What up, everybody? Welcome back. Spiritual experience. You know the deal. You know the vibes. Going old school. Going offensive. Yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Both appropriately and inappropriately. You hear that? What? All right, everybody. Welcome back, Spiritual Experience. You know the deal. We're back up on it. Just came back from a road trip down North Carolina. Yeah, had a great time. Had a great experience. I saw a lot of my family members, which was awesome. My little cousin Devin got married. And, yeah, we're doing our thing. We finally closed on the crib. And it was, bro, it was freaking crazy, man. It was so, you know, it was just, I'm so over it that I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But here's the deal. The deal is, you know, I did it somewhat sober. You know, I didn't have to go too crazy. I didn't have to fucking really threaten anybody. And it's funny because, yeah, it was just, even when I was sitting there at the last day with my lawyers, and I was like, dog, they were like, first of all, I was signing all these papers. I was going to have like a heart attack. There's just so much paperwork, bro. And you guys know I can't handle that kind of shit. And, yeah, so whatever. So it was a lot of paperwork. And even they were like, listen, these lenders, yeah, what did Trump say? These lenders, they're not babies. They're total fucking killers. That's what he said. And it's the truth. They're total fucking killers, you know? They want blood, bro. They want blood. So, yeah. So, anyway, we get through that and whatever, and then hop in the car. We can't even really enjoy the crib. You know, the realtor, my homegirl, Anna Aronson, she's our realtor for that particular property. And she's getting it all tip-top magoo. Get the painters in there, do whatever they got to do. I made a call to somebody to extend the driveway or whatever. And what's it called? Yeah. And either way, I'm getting text messages that people are like, fucking forget it. Either way. So point is that we did it. We crossed the finish line. And we get down there. We're going to North Carolina. We get in the car. Let me tell you, man, like, it's so nice to be just like on the road. You know, I'm on the road with my girl. It's just me and her. There's no kids. We're listening to podcasts, listening to fucking, you know, AA shit. And it's so nice, man. And I get down there, and my cousin Aaron comes to check me right away because he's a G. And he's a great kid, man. I fucking love him so much. And, yeah, even when he called me he's like, yo, like, we make fun of each other, you know, sorry if you're Mexican. I mean, I'm not sorry that you're Mexican, but I'm sorry if you get offended if you are Mexican. But we call each other way. Like, come on, way. Because that's what Mexicans say. They're like, no way. They say way. And I think it's Guay, like Guey. Guay. Come on, way. You know, don't fucking way. It's funny. Anyway, so he's always like, where are you, way? I said, I'm over at the hotel, way. Anyway, so he comes check me out. We're smoking a cigar. Even my girl was like, dog, this guy he's got something on his brain. Just the way he was like, you know. Yeah. And he doesn't. He just wanted to just rap, you know. And we talk a lot about life. He's a young man. He's about my son's age, but he's got a whole life. He's got 2 beautiful kids. He's got a wife. You know, he's moving up in the world. He's doing his thing. And, yeah, so we were just chopping it up. And, you know, he's danced in and out of trouble a little bit. And being that I am more than a 2-stripe white belt in screwing things up and getting in trouble, I am a good source of information for him, which is good. And I can just give him the same thing I give all of yous and everybody else, which is the unadulterated truth, you know. You know, I say it, I guess, how I think it or how I speak it. Like, I don't know. There's not too many, it's not too much shit going on. So, here's the deal. The deal is, you know, so I'm down there, and then he just asks me, which is a normal question. When people ask me, like, you know, that I seem to make staying sober look very easy. And, you know, I don't even know how to answer that question or how to answer that statement. You know, I learned a long time ago, and I still have problems doing it now, that when somebody pays you a compliment, you just say thank you. There's no need to explain away, you know, in some self-deprecating way, somebody's compliment. Like, yo, my girl does this, and it doesn't piss me off. She's the fucking best. You know, if you guys haven't figured it out by now, she's everything I dream, you know. But anyway, somebody will be like, oh, I love your hair. Right away, she'll be like, yeah, they're extensions. Instead of just saying thank you, she delegitimizes herself, like, you know, like, yeah, it's okay. You can just say thank you, you know, but you can't stop herself. So when somebody says to me, oh, I make it look easy, you know, the truth is that not picking up a drink is very easy at this stage of my life, at this stage of the game. It's very, very easy. I don't have to pick up any substance. But living life without drinking is not easy, you know, because I have to take everything to the fucking balls. You know, everything is a kick to the fucking balls, bro. Everything. It's just like, and, you know, I'm oversensitive and all of these things. And I didn't get the right bicycle when I was a kid and all this other shit. So, yeah. So anyway, so I was just like, yo, dude, you know, yeah, I guess it may, you know, maybe it looks easy. And it is easy for me. But like, because I build I'm not doing it on my own. And I think that's what makes it look easy. And that's what actually makes it easy, is that I'm not doing it on my own. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, hey, listen, man, I go to meetings all the time. I have a whole life full of lovely, wonderful, incredible friends that help me. And I'm never really in that much of a pickle, you know, because I spend my time not worrying about bad things going to happen, but kind of like preparing that anything could happen, including good things, right? Not just bad things, not prepare for the worst. Like, I have to prepare for the best. You know, I was telling him, I was like, dude, if I got like 4 or 5 hours of unaccounted for time and like $600 cash in my pocket, you know, that's not a good recipe for me. So I make phone calls if I'm feeling squirrely or whatever. And, yeah, so I can be like, hey, look, man, I'll take the $600. I'll go to Atlantic City, I'll go to where? I'll just do whatever, some kind of fucking debauchery. You know, and I can hear it when that voice is calling me, you know, because that's the truth. And I talk about it all the time. Like, the monkey is definitely off my back, but the circus is always in town. Fucking always. And when I mean always, I mean like there's a voice inside of me that just cannot wait for a situation where I can victimize myself. It is just like sitting there waiting like, oh, what? They didn't return these texts in the group and this, that, and fucking who? Like, forget it. You know? Like, the banks and everybody were all against me. Everybody's all against me. You know, it's funny because I told my girl, like, the first tattoo that I ever got, right? How old was I? I'm gonna honestly say 17. Maybe 17 or 18. It might have been 17. Either 17 or 18. Back in the day, I might have said 16 because I wanted to be fucking cool. But I know it wasn't 16 because I was already out of high school. And I was out of high school by almost 18. You know, because I finished a little early because I went to that BOCES program. So I got kind of asked to leave school. I was such a problem freaking kid, man. I couldn't stay out of the street, man. I just couldn't stay out. Like the bottle, the fucking drugs, the women, they just had me. You know, that's all they did. They just had me. And, yeah. Yeah, so there's that. So, first tattoo, right? And this is like maybe around 96. And I was knee deep in the hip hop game. Like, I'm not a rapper or anything, but dude, you know, like, I'm like the first hip hop generation, which is why I know that old school fucking, those breakbeat songs. That one was called, obviously, not obviously, I think it's just called Hot. Doo doo doo. Yeah, now that thing has been sampled 100,000 times. And, you know, either way. So I was knee deep in that. Yeah, Hot Music and it's on Tidal under Soho. Hopefully they don't, it's very old, but hopefully they don't come fucking find me. Either way, so in the rap scene, and also in the New York hardcore scene, you know, I was a regular New York kid. You know, I listened to fucking hardcore music. I listened to hip hop. I listened to dance hall reggae. You know, everybody listened to everything. Like, you know, when I was talking before about my Wu-Tang t-shirt, bro, there's metalheads listen to fucking Wu-Tang. There was different kind of metalheads. There were like these long hairs, who I was not. And there was like more skinhead style, which is where I was at, you know. Even when I had hair, I didn't hang out with these like long hair fucking, you know. Yeah, where it's just parted down the middle and they wore these tight ass fucking denim outfits and that other shit, you know. If you watch the movie Kids from that time, like that's what everybody looked like. And I remember when that movie came out and everyone was just like, oh my God, like blah, blah, blah. Like, and me and my friends were like, dog, you know, bro, they could have just fucking followed any of us. That's basically, that was our life. So it was a good depiction, but it just wasn't surprising to anybody, you know. Some of the club stuff a little bit surprising. I was talking about it also online because I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry. Where some fucking, you know, some douchebag from the New York Post was talking about, because they have all these private clubs now in Manhattan for like super rich people or whatever. And you got to pay to get in thousands, like 200,000 a year or whatever, 20, I don't know. And like, you know, almost like the Harvard Club, but open to the public, but you got to be invited, like all this shit. And they were like, yeah, all this separatism, it's, you know, as a New Yorker, it's not New York style, blah, 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 like on their fucking high horse. And I could tell right away by somebody even saying that, yeah, that they're not a fucking New Yorker, bro. Like, you didn't grow up here. You want to talk about separatism? You want to talk about fucking that ego shit? Bro, you try to get into the fucking Palladium in the 90s. Or the fucking, or worse, right? Everyone talks shit about the Limelight. Oh, about Limelight. Dude, the fucking rope at these clubs was ridiculous. ridiculous. Like you had to be fucking, half or whatever and blow somebody to fucking get in the club. Like the fucking gayer and crazier that you looked, you got in there, on certain nights. I didn't go to Limelight. Sorry. I just didn't. I didn't go to Limelight. I remember when it closed down, when all those Geishan clubs closed, and then it turned back on. I think it was called Avalon or something, and I might have come out of a blackout in there once. But I would never. It just wasn't my thing, It just wasn't. I was in the street. I was in house parties. I was on rooftops. And when I got older and I started making money, whatever. Then, I was at China Club. Rooftop at the China Club was always nice with the couches up there. I'll never forget that place. Rooftop, China Club. Yeah. What else was up? Speed was a big deal. Of course, the Sound Factory. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. Either way. So, I can tell that this person is not an actual New Yorker, because let me tell you that separate club shit has fucking been forever. And any herb that writes for the New York Post was never fucking getting into Envy. I used to go to Envy too. That was a good one. Envy. I used to go to Envy. Yeah. Or the Tunnel. They would never get in the fucking Tunnel. You kidding me, bro? You kidding me? Yeah, the rope at these clubs, like you had to be with fucking goons that knew somebody or that was famous, or you had to be with 74 fucking women, or you had to pay the fucking bouncer. And sometimes they just took your fucking money. They just took your money, and if you said something back, they would fucking slap you, bro. They would slap you. Cheetah, they would slap you. They would slap you at Cheetah. Yeah. So, either way, first tattoo, right? So what I'm saying is that, like, this was when, like, you had to be who you was. And first tattoo on, it was like, especially in the hardcore scene, everybody had, like, going across the top of, this is very cheesy now. This is similar to, like, fucking, I'm going to say Geeps, but Geeps don't have tattoos. Guidos with those fucking stupid armband fucking tribal tattoo. Like, yeah, fucking tribal. What tribe are you? Fucking olive oil tribe? Is that what you're the fucking gabagools? Right? So anyway. Right, everybody in the hardcore scene, and shout out to all those guys, even though it scares shitless to go to all those fucking DMS shows when we would go, because those guys were fucking crazy. They would put Old English letters across the top of your back, and the most vile, insane word that you could fucking have is what you would fucking put there, And all the skinheads had them and whatever. So, I was a fucking maniac running around with other fucking maniacs, and you had to be a tough guy to have a fucking tattoo, And I guess I thought I was tough. And maybe a little bit I was. That, I don't know, that remains to be seen. So, from, like, shoulder blade to, like, shoulder blade. Old English letters. I remember because I was working on the Mercantile Exchange, and I went with my boy. We went down across the street from the Cages on 6th Avenue in the Village. It was back then, tattoos were still illegal, so there were no tattoo shops. And that's how I know, because it was in the basement of a fucking one of those bong and t-shirt shops, Because back then they had all these bong shops. I remember you spend $100 on a bong, and it was fucking glass, and you would blow the smoke, you'd suck up on the fucking bong, and the glass would change fucking color. It was dope, and they would charge you $100 because the base was like ceramic. I had a bunch of them because I was a fucking addict. Anyway, so across the top of my back in Old English letters by Russian Alex with the bum foot. Shout out to him wherever he's at. He's a legend. It says vengeance. Yeah. says fucking vengeance, you know? And now I have a full-blown, everybody, if they know me, they know. Like, I have a full-blown black and gray, you know, Japanese back piece. There's no room. It's everything. I got fucking food dogs. I got fucking samurais, the Buddha. I got everything, you know. But still there, that old English vengeance, you know, because you had to, you had to. And that was it. And it was because I was just so defiant. And I was so driven to do things my own way. And I would forget that it was there. But I was happy when people would remind me, when somebody would see it, they'd be like, oh shit, what the fuck does that say? You little crazy fuck. And I'd be like, yeah, vengeance, motherfucker. You know, in the fucking mosh pit. We didn't even call it moshing, we just called it dancing. The mosh pit. You're going to go in the pit, you're going to dance in the pit. You know, Gaylord. You're going to go dance in the pit. Be out there windmill kicking and punching people, and they'd be punching you. And it's just a lot of way to let out all of that steam. You know, and it was a great time. It was a fucking great time. Yeah. So, yeah, I lived a little bit, you know. I lived a little bit. And now I have this other life. You know, I'm 20-something years removed from that life. You know, almost 19 years removed from a drink. And getting, it's 19 years of 1 inch, sometimes 1 step at a time, getting closer to myself. You know, who am I? And then, obviously, you know, once you find out who you really are, you know, I was talking with my girl about this yesterday. I was like, dog. I was like, bro, I gotta stop saying dog. I listen to too much fucking Joey Diaz, and I talk to my boy Amber way too much, and he says dog like he's fucking a Rough Rider. He says dog. Everything is fucking dog with him, and he loves dogs. He's a fucking great guy, and I love him to the moon. Anyway, so I was telling my girl yesterday that, like, yeah, man, doing those fucking 12 steps, bro, you get introduced to all of your fucking bullshit and all of your stories and all of your victim stuff and all of your attitudes and your behaviors and how you've basically just, you know, run amok. It's just survival. Like, you know, in order to survive in a world of spiraling down addiction and alcoholism, you have to just, it's, you know, self-preservation. Friends no longer be, you know, there's no limits, right, of what you will do or say to anybody about anything to protect, you know, the truth from them. You can't, nobody can know the fucking truth. You don't even know the truth all the time. The truth is, the lines are blurred. Like it says, bro, you go to these NA meetings, these fucking, oh my God. I want to go to an NA meeting that's not in New York. New York is like, the New York NA meetings that I've gone to. And listen, I know a lot of really good guys that go to those programs. I go to AA. Sorry about anonymity. Go fuck yourself. But the NA meetings, dude, it's like fucking. It's like the old. It's like 1989 Lower East Side in Brooklyn, NA. That's what it is. Fucking maniacs in there. Just fucking maniacs. You know? But they're clean. And the old school, they're so old school, they still say stuff like shooting junk. They say junk. You know? Yeah. Yeah, they say junk. And either way. So, yeah. So being, I get introduced to myself, through all of this pain. And it's so painful in the beginning living life sober, man. You're just like, dude, I want to die, but I can't pick up a fucking drink. Because this is a lot of pain. But the drink is just like suffering. The drugs is just like suffering. In your mind, you're like, yeah, I want to fucking have a few pints of fucking Hennessy or vodka, a couple of blasts of cocaine, I don't know, maybe some ecstasy, and like 3 women. That's what your brain will tell you. But at the end, it was just fucking me hiding in my car, looking around for fucking spilled up fucking powder. Definitely no women. Definitely the glory was gone. And it was painful. It was fucking debilitating. And it wouldn't stop. And I couldn't stop. So, me knowing that and getting a break just from that suffering, man, it was everything. It was a life. It was like what, I don't know the name of all of this stuff, like the meteor that fucking hits the planet and then all the dinosaurs die because of the ice age, whatever. That's what it's like. You get sober, it's like that. Boom, the fucking meteor hits the planet. And, yeah. Then everything fucking goes black. And you're just like, oh my God. And a little bit at a time, all those chemicals and all those things leave you physically. I always recommend everybody go away. Get some 28-day treatment, 22 days. Part of me doesn't want to tell people to do that because I didn't do it. I'm like, bro, I earned every fucking day, man. Every day that I have, I've earned. I fucking earned. Let me see it. There's this app here. Before I go off on all, did I delete it? There was an app that had my actual fucking day count. But it's that, but that. I don't want to delay you guys. Oh, here it is. Is this the countdown app? No. What the fuck is that? My birthday. What do I have here? Done. Please enter a title for this event. Fuck you. I thought I had one, to be honest. My birthday, New Year, 10K, vacation. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I've been sober a long time. And when I mean a long time, I mean a fucking long time. Let me see. I'll tell you right now. October 29. Stay with me, friends. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. 6,887 days. 19 hours, 3 minutes, 57 seconds. That says my birthday. Let me edit that. Whatever. So, point is that, bro, it's a long fucking time. Damn, dog. That's a long fucking time. Almost 7,000 days. And, yeah, in the beginning it was like that. So it's like the meteor hits the fucking planet. Everything fucking dies. Or so it seems. Right? And you are reborn. A little bit at a time. But in order to get fucking In order to not build the planet back to the same way, that's why we don't have fucking dinosaurs now. Everything's got to change, man. It's got to change a little bit at a time. And a little bit at a time, it means a little bit at a time. Which means that, like, you can't walk into the woods 40 steps and then come out fucking 1 step and think you're out of the woods. And then you're like, oh, man, I'm not out of the woods? Fuck this shit. And then you just run back in to that despair. Yeah, so what happens? They tell you, make meetings so you can find other fucking cavemen survivors, you know? That's what you got to do. So you make meetings, you find your fucking tribe. Other people who are like, holy shit, there's no more fucking dinosaurs, but we're still scared shitless, and there's all this other shit, right? Find your tribe. You will find them. The same way you found them in the street, you will find them in recovery. And guess what? They're fucking junkie loser. Shout out, Chris. Like you. They're just like you. You know what I'm saying? It's that one guy's like, oh, I used to shoot heroin. Oh, I used to snort heroin. Oh, I used to drink fucking Listerine. I used to do this. I used to do that. I'm like, okay, well, what else did you do? Well, I would leave my kid for days at a time. Really? They fucking took my kids. I didn't even have any kids. I aborted all my kids. Like, you know, you get to see that we're all not that different on that level. On the guilt, shame, and remorse level. Then you start to do this work, which is kind of like digging for fucking, you know, what do you call it? Those dinosaur bones or whatever. You know, you're digging, man. They want to know how we got here. They dig down. They don't look up, right? I mean, I look up because, you know, I'm the alien freak, Anunnaki, everything. You know, I'm a son of Enki. If you know, you know. You know, but either way, so, yeah, and then you find out who you are. And who I am is a sum of my actions. How I feel is derived a lot of times from what I think. And what I think is not rooted in reality at all. You know, it's rooted in my perception of reality. That's what I learned. That my perception has me as this perpetual victim where nobody's going to love me enough. The love that I need from other people for it to be enough, it doesn't exist. There's no number. It just doesn't exist. I need too much. You know, I learned that about myself. So I learned how also, like, nobody will ever be sorry enough, you know? If they have wronged me or if I am right about something, yeah, they're never, you know, yeah, they're never sorry enough. It's either they're never sorry enough or they want to apologize. Like, no, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm going to let it go. Yeah, fuck out of here. I don't let anything go that easily. I do now. So, as I started to put time together, and I just did what they told me to do. And the thing about 12-step programs and about AA is that it's like seemingly unrelated things, but they all fucking work when you put it together. The issue is that it works too good. I've been thinking about this a lot because some of these old timers that have been around for a while, they're like, oh, fucking, you know, the numbers are down in AA, you know, people like we used to 75% effective rate. It used to be. Now we're at 10%. And I'm like, oh, fuck yourself. Ugh. fucking bleeding deacon animal. You know, what did I say? Take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your fucking mouth. Bro, the reason why people relapse is because AA works too good. Because in a couple of months, you will feel so good that you will forget that you are motherfucking sick. So sick that we think we're well. That's how good AA works. That you are so sick that you will think you are well. We'll dust you off. Within a couple of months, you'll make some friends. You'll probably be chasing some fucking person in the room or whatever. You may save a few dollars from not drinking and not drugging. You'll have a new sense of freedom. And then you'll think you're cured. And that's when the devil is going to show up. And it's going to be like, yeah, that job that you got sober and you have, and you were grateful that you have it, yeah, they're going to fire you in sobriety. They didn't fire you when you was drinking, but they're going to fire you now. And you're going to maybe chase some girl or some boy or some them or they or whatever. I get so annoyed with that. I'm going to make a left turn so I don't get in too much trouble. But you're going to be chasing somebody, and it's going to be love at first sight, and then you're going to be their higher power. They're going to be yours, and then in 3 weeks, you guys are going to be fucking at each. You're going to be killing each other, and hopefully you won't move in, and yeah, and you won't be going to meetings. You'll fire your sponsor because you got a new higher power, and there you go. You'll be right out the door. Because without recovery, not even recovery, without clean time, without sober time, you'll never even meet a girl like that. You know? Or whatever. That's the thing. AA fixes you so quickly. That's why people, they fucking wish you a long, slow recovery. You know, and everybody gets oh my God, don't fucking say that. Long, slow recovery, this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, dude. I wish you a long, slow recovery. So, you know, yeah. I've been doing this stuff long enough on a very consistent basis that I seemingly have a lot of answers. And the answers I have are really just experience from doing things the wrong way. That's what I got. Experience, strength, and hope. But I have to tell you that I was telling my girl yesterday, she's like, you know, I met so many, because she used to come. She's like, I met so many miserable people in AA. I'm like, yeah, maybe they're miserable for that hour. Well, let me tell you something. There are a lot of miserable people, and that's because they're not doing what the fuck they're supposed to do. There could be a lot of also people in pain, and it is, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a couple of 3 things. Like, dude, looking at yourself and absolving other people from the equation so that you can have accountability for your life and your actions and your happiness and responsibility for that, that is fucking painful. To not be able to blame somebody else for your shit, dude, that's fucking painful, bro. Nobody has a good time doing that. Nobody. But what you get from doing that and then allowing yourself to make different choices because you take extreme ownership, shout out Jocko, for your life. Like, your life isn't going to change overnight, but you can start changing it today, and then in a year, you'll be somewhere else. But people don't want to give themselves a year, number one. Number two, they don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to look at themselves. The blame is everybody else. You know, like, oh, if this person, an example is like, listen, you know, say your parents kicked the shit out of you. Let's just say that. It was the 80s. Things happen. They kicked the shit out of you all the time. Bro, I could, you know, I used to get hit so much. After a while, it didn't even matter, you know. And that's because that's just how it was, you know. And I could say, well, my parents used to hit me all the time, and that's why I was the way that I was. Meanwhile, there are people whose parents hit them, and they made a different choice. And they didn't turn out the way that I did. Maybe they were like, I'm going to fucking be the best that I can be in spite of them. And they took a different route. Now, that was the vein in which that tattoo was born in. That in spite of my blame for everybody else at that time, in spite of all that, in spite of my own shitty choices, like, you know, when people are like, oh, you hung around with the wrong friends, like, bro, I was the wrong friend. You know, I just want to drink, get high, chase girls. Who doesn't want to do that? But it's from, you know, all the way until the sun goes down, and then until the sun comes up. So I made those choices, and I got to live with them. Got to pay what you owe. Not everybody's willing to do that, but as soon as I'm willing to do that, that means when I'm faced with a situation in life, I'm faced with some kind of conflict, there's more than one choice that is on the table. There's more than two choices. Number one would always used to be, what about me? Self-preservation. What about me? Fuck you. What about me? When is it going to be my turn? That's what my disease says. It's a voice. It's only destructive. That's why I call it a disease. It's never trying to help me. My disease never tries to help. It always tries to just destroy me. It says, when is it going to be my turn to fucking play a little bit? To live so much in the moment that you will burn everything down around you so you can get a little hot. Right there, a little heat, to feel that heat because it makes you feel alive. And then when it's done, you fucking killed everybody and everything else. And you just, disappointment, broken hearts, destroyed loved ones, and that's a fucking vicious cycle to be in. So to be in that spot and you're just like, my job today is to just keep the matches in the drawer. That's it. Sometimes I pull them out and I'm like, and then I can't not light fires, man. I'm a fucking pyromaniac. That's what I do. I burn down my life. I build it up, then I burn it down in some fucking way. So that's why I need my whole crew. And this is not like my crew that when I was younger, if somebody was going to take a swing at me, there'd be a lot of people jumping on them. And you think that, that's my crew. Yeah, those are my people. It's not, a lot of them are good. But it's about like, who's going to help me who's going to help me face myself and help me, just not make things worse. They may not have all the answers to make it better, but they can help me to not make it worse. And then most importantly, my connection with God is everything, because that's where I'll get the relief. that I've stayed sober through enough situations where I wanted it to go my way, and God has this whole fucking open highway for me, but I want to take this little shortcut through the fucking alley. You know? The alley that's a dead end. So over time of going down those dead ends and then turning around and coming back to the fucking wide road, I've surrendered myself to him. And some people, you can call it higher power. You can call it anything you want to call it. Or you can have fucking nothing. And that's up to you. Doesn't bother me if you have nothing one bit. I need a power greater than myself because of just how I described to you how my brain operates on its own. At first, it was a power other than myself. And then that power became greater than me. Because that power, the power of the Lord, bro, that's that love that was at the bottom of the fucking heroin bags and the bottom of that bottle that I was searching for. And it doesn't betray you. It stays with you. You have to have faith. Sometimes the fucking street lights are bright. Sometimes they're flickering. Sometimes there's no street lights. And you just got to stay on the road. And just know that if I just do the first is just to not do the wrong thing. And then maybe a little bit at a time start doing the right thing. And you really play the long game. That's how I make sobriety, recovery look easy. Because I've made, how many days did I say? My anniversary is coming up, dogs. October 29 is my anniversary. So I've had 6,887 days in this fucking game. And I'd say like, you know, I don't know. I don't know how many times I veered away. But I know that it took me a while to surrender to the path. And as soon as I surrender to it, the road is not even that, it doesn't have to be that wide. It's a lot wider than you think. And you learn how to be honest with yourself about who you are. And it allows you to make choices, better choices in your life. But once you be honest about who you are, then if you're willing to accept help, help comes in the form of things that you do not want to do. Whatever you don't want to do, that's number one thing to fucking do. You don't want to exercise, bro, that you got to get after it. You don't want to, get some fucking... Dude, you can get like 12-step books. 12-step is like the fucking shit. Like, I don't know anybody that I could take through that stuff that wouldn't be at much more peace with themselves. Because you don't have to be honest, because it teaches you how to get honest. But if there's a voice inside of you that's saying do not go there, as far as like, oh, it sounds like very hokey pokey, then that's like the voice you need to be like, okay, you want me to fucking drown. Whether it's therapy, whether it's eating right, doesn't mean you got to go fucking vegan, yoga, crazy, like some of these people. But, like, challenge yourself to be honest. Challenge yourself to be honest. I know I talk a lot about therapy. I told you, I fired my therapist. Dude, because I'm like, therapy helps when you want to go for something very specific. But unless your therapist is really, like... I don't know what their role is. I have no idea I don't know what their role is. This me talking to you guys is therapeutic for me enough, And plus all my people, the conversations I have with them are not like hokey pokey, artichokey. It's more like, listen, man, I'm struggling with this. Sometimes I'm not, a lot of times I'm not struggling with anything, but I get to be there when somebody else says, look, I'm struggling with this. And I can say, okay, I have that experience. I know what that thought is. My thought was like this. They're like, oh my God, you're in my brain. I'm like, no, bro, I just been there. And I can tell you I did these 3 things, and those 3 things did not fucking work. I did this, this, and this. You know, so we know we're not going to do that. But eventually somebody showed me this thing, which is like, you know, what's the saying? There's no right way to do the wrong thing. You know, no matter what. We got to pay what we owe. So, anyway, I'm going into Babel fucking territory. I'll take you guys back out. I love you guys so much. We're going to get Old Man Edgar on here. I think I'm going to try and shoot for this Sunday, so maybe we'll drop next week. And, you know, shout out to my boy, Kurt Bascom. He's got a podcast, School by Kurt something. Hold on, let me get the right fucking name. He's on to something, man, but he's like, I texted him like, dude, man, you got to take us with you on these fucking trips, you know? School by Mr. Bascom, Bascom. You know, he's a high school football coach. And he's fucking, you know, he's trying to be great. He's challenging himself. That's where it is, man. The fruit of the tree is out there on the limb. So let me cue this fucking thing back up. And where are we? I just love you all. Please like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google, YouTube. No, I don't have a YouTube page. I should start a YouTube page. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking of starting a YouTube page and having somebody animate it with like stick figures when I interview somebody else. You know, I think that would be a very cool fucking thing. You guys let me know what you think. And also shout out to my cousin, Little David, a.k.a. Nate. He's got a show on Facebook. Whatever. I'm not going to... I'll put it in the show notes or something. I don't want to take any more time doing these shout-outs because I'm going to fuck them up. And that's it, guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.